2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, turn your notifications on, do all the things. I also have a membership program, which I have some really special videos planned for that specific membership that's going to be coming out in November. So be sure that you are subscribed to that. So before we get started, there is a part 1 to this video. If you have not watched part 1 of this video, I will have it linked in the description box. Go watch it. I will also have it up here. You should be seeing it right about now. As you can see, I'm in a room full of stuff. I'm in the same room that I did part 1 in, because we are moving and there's stuff everywhere. Speaking of which, beside me is our brand new TV. Like, stuff is just everywhere, so I apologize for that. But I am filming this now on Sunday at 5:38 p.m. Already have the MacBook right here prepared to edit it as soon as part 2 is over. So let's quit the gabbing so I don't have to do much editing, and let's get this started. So where we left off was the baby doll, the Indian doll. Let me grab her. This creepy doll who did not look like this. If you watched part 1, just a little bit of a recap, she did not look like this. She had hair parted down the middle like mine in 2 braids with this right here around her head in the front. It was down here. And she had a headdress, like a very much Native American headdress. She used to be in the china cabinet, then she wandered in here. Also, a little bit of a recap on part 1. Hi, my name is Morgan, and sometimes people who are no longer here like to talk to me. Just short and sweet, but my hair is windblown, you guys. We've been moving all day. By the way, this is going to be one of the last uploads that you're going to see in this house, because we're moving in 2 weeks. So I'm going to continue to try to do 1 video a week, but on the weekend of the Sunday the 12th, there may not be a video. And if there's not, I will do a live, okay? Love you so much. Anyway, I'm working one day. I feel someone standing behind me. I look over. It's this doll who should be in a china cabinet on the other end of the house, and she's not. Things started to progressively get a little bit more intense. And what I mean is, it was no longer just me feeling the vibes. It was now my boyfriend feeling the vibes, everybody, my mom, like everybody feeling the vibes of like something going on. So I started to do a little bit of research and into JP's family. And he has a lot of Native American culture, specifically Cherokee culture, in his blood. And I'm not exactly sure what his great-grandmother was trying to describe or tell us, but something not so nice, I think, was here for a little bit. And things were happening constant there for a while. Even while editing part 1, I walked out of the room to go and get JP, and my mom was getting her floors redone in her kitchen. And so we were all in there talking about the floors, and while I'm gone, the door starts swaying on its own. Like, things are just happening, okay? Like, just all of them just start to stack up with one another. Like, and what happened the day that I filmed part 1 is probably one of the, for me, because I'm so used to it, I don't really get scared or freaked out by the paranormal or by spirits, that it doesn't really bother me. But last Sunday, after it took me literally 6 hours to edit that video. I got the video edited and uploaded and got all the cards put in, just YouTuber stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna go take a shower. I just want to take a shower. I want to wash my lashes. I want to go take a shower. And you guys, I took a cold shower, and that water within a second got steaming hot. Now, the shower that we have has like the knob that goes down like this, and you kind of have to spin it either way to make it hot or cold. I had it like more towards the cold side, like not directly in the middle, just a little bit more on the cold side. And it got so hot so quick, steam coming around. panicked, turned around, and it was turned all the way on hot. And I know full and well that I did not do that. I know I did not do that. And I panic. I turn the shower completely off. JP comes in there. He's like, what in the heck is going on in here? And I said, I don't know. You know full and well. He was in the bathroom with me when I turned the shower on. I was like, I don't know if you were paying any attention, but I purposely like put it on a colder setting because I wanted a cold shower. And he was like, yeah, I remember specifically you saying I want to take a cold shower. I said, exactly. It is steaming like it was hot. And I had just pushed it to turn it off. And I was like, look where it's at. Like, it's all the way over on hot. And he was like, what the heck? Like, things just keep like stacking up. And like, it's not huge things, but when they all continuously happen, it's a lot. So now I'm going to tell you about the next big part that happened that freaked me out, which is going to be the meat and potatoes of part 2. And it is this continuous nightmare that I had for probably 2.5 weeks in a row. And it was so creepy and so realistic. It was bizarre. And before I tell this story, if you are superstitious at all, it's a big thing in the South, superstition is, but I've started talking to a lot of people on social media and a lot of you guys who follow me who also believe in superstitions, and it's not just a Southern thing, it's everywhere. And one of the biggest superstitions is if you dream about someone having a baby or you having a baby, it is a superstition that someone may very well pass away. So I start having this reoccurring dream about this baby. I have no clue whose baby this is. No idea. In my dream, I don't even know whose baby this is, but it is me, my mother, and my boyfriend, JP. And we're in a room with this baby. It's almost like we're babysitting for this baby. I'm not exactly sure. And then all of a sudden, this baby starts being very like evil, doing very evil things. Like its eyes would turn red, just like. And in my dream, I remember feeling scared. Like, this isn't a normal entity. This isn't a normal spirit. This is like, this isn't a human being. This is evil. And I just remember in the second time I had this dream, because the dream was like slow and progressive. Like, we're just with this baby. But it was the same baby every single time. And it would crawl up the walls and like weird, you guys, like absolutely unhinged, my love, like crawling up walls, crawling on the goddamn ceiling, like pinching you when you would hold it, like just had sharp, like almost vampire looking teeth, like crazy, absolutely unhinged. And in the second or third time, I can't remember, time I had that dream, my mom just raises her hand up and said, like, starts performing an exorcism full on. And me and JP in the dream start to follow behind her. And this baby's skin comes off. And there is a demonic baby inside of this baby. Like, you guys, crazy. And I continuously have this dream, which is very rare for me. You guys, if you've watched any of my paranormal story times, you know that the only dream that I have ever had reoccurring is when I go into sleep paralysis. Do you guys know where this is going? Okay, I hope you're following along. If not, I will have playlists linked in the cards for my story times, my paranormal story times, and MorganShay33. If you guys are familiar with my sleep paralysis stories, they are not for the faint of heart. I have only heard 2 other people describe sleep paralysis in the way that I have sleep paralysis. One person is Tana Mojo. She has a full story time on her channel. And the second person that has described anything with sleep paralysis like I'm about to tell, I can't remember her name right now, but I will have her name on the screen. She is a bigger YouTuber as well. These are the only 2 people I have ever heard describe sleep paralysis in this way with a shadow person. Now, when I say a shadow person, this shadow person who's always been in my sleep paralysis is not specifically a gender. The shadow person will morph into, I don't know if it's what I calculate in my mind for it to be, or if it just does it to scare me. I don't know. But more often than not, it is a female with pigtails. And after doing a lot of research after my first story time about my sleep paralysis, knowing that there are other people who have had this, there are millions and millions and millions of people who have this morphing shadow figure in their sleep paralysis. I personally, being someone who knows the spiritual realm, Haley Reese is the other one who's described the shadow people. It just popped into my head. After doing some research, so many millions of people having this sleep paralysis nightmare, in my opinion, in my spiritual advisor's opinion, this is an actual paranormal experience. So anyone who has these sleep paralysis nightmares, they are some way linked to paranormal activity. They have experienced, whether they know it or not. So if any of you all have ever had sleep paralysis with the shadow figure in the corner, also known online with Google, if you do research, as the shadow man or shadow woman, there's also the morphing shadow person, because like I said, it morphs genders, it changes genders. It is not always the same gendered person. It's not a person. It is some type of entity. And there's been a lot of investigators do research on this shadow person. So with all of that to say, if you've ever heard me talk about my sleep paralysis, it's a shadowed figure, it's in the corner. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, essentially you can do your research, but long story short, to put it in layman's terms, your whole body is completely paralyzed. You are stuck, but you can open your eyes. So you can look as far as your eyes will go that way, up, down, like that's it. You cannot move. And you may very well have someone sleeping next to you. Now, I will say, more often than not, you're sleeping alone, which is a big thing with the shadow person. They love it when you sleep alone. And what makes this so weird for me is, I think where I connect with that world and I'm so open to that realm, it doesn't matter. I could be sleeping with 15 people. Not that I do orgies or anything, just as a reference. Like, I could be sleeping in a room with 30 people. It would not matter. I could still go into full-blown sleep paralysis. My last relationship I was in for 7 years. I think I went into sleep paralysis over 120 times. We kept count for a long time. I know it's more than 100. And since I've been in this relationship, I've now had sleep paralysis twice in less than a year. So, I mean, and it's terrifying. Now, I will say I've been having sleep paralysis. The first time I remember, I know I was in the 3rd grade. I remember the very first time, and it's always been a shadowed person. But it's a full-grown adult. It's never been a child, and it's never been a baby. It's always been a grown adult. And one of the weird parts is in my sleep paralysis, they will normally crawl very creepily on top of me and look me in the eye. There are so many people who've experienced the same thing. If you've ever experienced this type of sleep paralysis, please share it below. I'm so curious to know how many of you guys who watch my videos have experienced it as well. But this sleep paralysis, you guys, that I've now had twice, the second time I'm going to explain in part 3, because it's more of what's going on now. But with part 2, this is the first time I've had sleep paralysis with my new relationship, first time in this house. And it was terrifying, to put it lightly. So it all started with a grown person shadow figure in the corner. And I need to kind of explain the layout of the bedroom that I'm sleeping in. It is a very tiny room. It is not a big room at all. Nowhere near the size of my old bedroom in my last house. Like, there's no comparison. And there is a huge 7-foot tall safe in the room, a dresser, a little bitty TV stand with like a 30-inch TV flat screen, a little stand that I put clothes in our bed. There's room to walk around. That's it. It's giving very much asses and elbows. So I'm asleep, and what's so weird is I always have sleep paralysis while I'm sleeping on my back. And to put this in reference for you guys, I never sleep on my back. It's so rare that I ever sleep on my back. I open my eyes and I immediately know I'm in sleep paralysis. I cannot move. I mean, you can't even lift a finger. You can't, I mean, I can wiggle my toes in sleep paralysis, but that's about it. I can't move my fingers. And I immediately know I'm in sleep paralysis, and I look to the right, and in the corner is the shadow person. And what made it weird this time is, like I've always told you guys, typically it is a shadow person that's very tall and skinny. But you just see like the outline of a person. I knew in my head it was a man. Off the bat, I knew it was a man. And he's so tall. And here's the thing. In my last house, our ceilings were cathedral. So even in the bedrooms, the bedroom ceilings were like, gosh, probably 12, 13 feet, like, to the ceiling, maybe more. And the shadow person would take the entire length of that. In this house, the ceilings are probably maybe 9 feet tall, maybe 8, I'm not sure. So it's taking up the entire length, but what makes it weird is it's wearing a hat, a top hat, which made it even more creepier for me. I don't know why. You would think it might make it a little bit less creepy, because then it gives it more of that human type vibe because it's wearing a top hat. But for me, it made it very creepy. And all of a sudden, the top hat falls down. Almost looked like a trench coat or some type of jacket. All falls to the ground. And I think, okay, sleep paralysis is over. Why can I not move? You guys, the footboard of the bed starts to move like this. And I'm wide awake. Like, I know that I'm awake. I know in my mind that I'm seeing this. Like, I know for 100% this is what I'm seeing. All of a sudden, I see a baby wearing gosh, I wish we would have had a picture of what this doll looked like before this. Again, watch part 1 if you want. Like, I wish I had a picture. And me, my mom, and my boy, like, we've all been like, God, I wish we would have had a picture, because it's crazy. I mean, it's just so crazy. When you look in her mouth, if you didn't watch part 1, like, her mouth is, all of this is open on the inside. And looking in there is the creepiest shit you will ever, like, no. It was the exact Native American headdress that was on this doll with the feathers and everything. Baby crawling up my bed, which is normal. It's normal for when I'm in sleep paralysis for whatever entity to crawl on me. That's happened in everyone, but this made it personal. This made it like it was personal to me. Like, personally trying to tell me some shit. Like, it's in the headdress with the headband that is still currently on this doll. And I told you guys in part 1, it looks like her hair has been literally singed. It doesn't look like it's been cut. It looks like she's lit completely on fire. And that's going to be important here in just a minute. The baby continues to crawl up me, and its head is down. So all I can see is the headdress. But I can't see if it's wearing clothes. I can't tell any of that. I can't move. I can only look as far as I can, like laying down with my eyes. Like, I can't move my head around or set up, you know? As it gets to my face, it is the face of this doll with the braids, with the headdress, in this outfit, this specific outfit, okay? It still had the bow and arrow, which, as you guys know, it is now just this broken ass stick, which looks like it's been burnt on this end. Gets into my face, and it
literally burst into flames. And
let me describe to you exactly what I seen laying on my back with the baby on me like this. It was like the inside where its heart would be started aflame, and it just completely lit on fire. And as I'm screaming, I scream in horror. I can see JP set up. I can see JP trying to wake me up. And then the baby smiles with sharp, like vampire teeth. The fire goes away, and I see this doll right here. After that, it disappears. I'm awake. Sleep paralysis is over. And JP's like, I have been hollering at you forever. Like, what the heck? And I said, I was awake. I seen you set up. I seen you shaking me. I could tell that you were yelling at me. I've been in sleep paralysis. Where is that doll? Where is the doll? And he said, it's still in your office. Your mom said, don't even worry about putting it in the china cabinet. Like, we don't want it in there. Like, it's still in the office. And I said, no, it's not. That doll is in this room somewhere. He said, there's literally no way, Morgan. When I was sitting with you working, because when he gets off work, it's still like, it's 4:30. I have to work till 11 p.m. So he comes in the office in here and sits on the futon and hangs out with me, and he draws or whatever. He was like, the doll was still on the futon. I seen it tonight. I said, no, it's not. It's not in there. I'm telling you, that doll is in here. He's like, fine, I'll get up. Keep in mind, you guys, it's 3:36 in the morning. Yeah. He said, fine, I'll get up. I'll go across the hall into the office, and I will show you that the doll is still in there. Not even 2 minutes later, he comes back in the room just like mortified. Like mortified. And he says, the doll's not in there. I said, I know it's not. It's in this room somewhere. I know it is. And he's like, what in the fuck is going on? I said, I'm telling you, I told you when we got together, you're going to experience this shit with me. It is what it is. The doll is in here. He said, you know what else is weird? On the futon is a bunch of the doll's hair. It looks like it's been singed off. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, makes perfect sense. And I described to him what my sleep paralysis just was. Like, describing to him everything, right? We turn on the light. After I described to him, he's panicking. We turn on the light. Do you want to know where the doll was? At the foot of the bed, by the footboard, like tucked, like right at the edge underneath the bed. And keep in mind, I just described to him that dream. Just described it to him. And so when he sees it, he's like, oh my God. I said, what? What is it? I just also get kind of pleasure when I'm with someone new or I meet someone new and this shit kind of just happens, because I'm like, welcome to Morgan Land. Like, welcome to my world. Like, greetings. So we see the doll. Now, remember earlier I said the doll wasn't in here when he came in here and he seen a bunch of her singed off hair on the futon? Tell me why the next day it was gone. And you know how hair is. Like, he said there was like 200 little bitty short pieces of hair that had been like singed off on the futon. This futon is white. There is not a droplet of hair where that doll was, which was right there. Not a singular piece of hair. Not one. Nowhere. Not in the cracks of the cushion, underneath, nothing. I literally sent a picture of the futon to JP at work that day. Like, where'd the hair go? Did you clean it? He said, no. He said, I seen it. I stood in the office for a minute, like, calming myself down because I didn't want to go in there and panic, and then you panic. And I was like, no, I would have, honestly was surprised by how calm you were, honestly. He was like, I just stood in the office for a minute and then came in there and told you, like, yeah, the doll's not in there. So, and he said what made it even more creepy is before we went to bed that night, he put his boots, like he tucks his boots right at the footboard, right where the doll was. And he said it looked like his boots had been pushed over, like so the dog could be right there. I love you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe before you leave. Like this video or dislike it, whatever. Be sure to follow me on TikTok at MorganShay33. I love you guys so much, and until the very next time, bye.